pose this. Now, lately there have been, and I suspect this has always gone on, but there's been a rash of white women or white people calling the police on black people for various reasons who turn out to be doing nothing wrong, whether it's the Nordstrom's rack or whether it's Starbucks. We had Beaver Creek, Ohio, when one of the clerks at at Walmart called the police on a black man who had a toy gun, even though it was a right to open carry state. Ohio, you can open carry. That policeman's that young man gets killed. It turned out he was doing nothing wrong. In Barstow, young man gets killed. Turns out he's doing nothing wrong. Tamir Rice gets killed. Turns out he's doing nothing wrong. The woman in Yale calls the police because a black person is asleep. Listen, you have the right to call the police, and that's what they're for, to make sure that you are in actuality safe. You feel threatened, you should call police. If you feel curious and you call the police just to see what's going to happen, or just because that person looks suspicious, or that person didn't wave, or why are they here, or they don't belong here, or we follow them around, and that person, that black person you call the police on gets hurt or gets killed by the police and he's doing nothing wrong, I think that there should be two charges, one against the police officer for doing it and one against the neighbor. I think that we should seek legislation. This curiosity, apparently black people are such a curious thing to people that now people want to check them out. If you call the police on your neighbor and he turns out to be your neighbor and he gets killed or hurt, you should be responsible for that. This is not a game. We're not playing anymore. You've seen the news, and it's been enough in the zeitgeist long enough for people to know that that is a very dangerous situation. Some of the things that have happened and people have gotten killed are very innocuous situations. A tail light out. Refusing to put a cigarette out. Not answering facts. Philando Castile paid attention to every rule and still got shot. James Blake got beat up before he could say he wasn't the guy they were looking for. They were already whooping his ass. Now, if you call the police on somebody and that person turns out to be doing something wrong, they should be. The police should deal with them. But you just call the police because you're curious, and that person gets jammed up or hurt, they should have the right to sue you, and you should be held on charges. This is enough with this. We ain't that exotic an animal that you've never seen us before. We're going to live next to you. We're going to shop where you shop. We're going to eat where you eat. And this idea that now you can just be funny and call the police and cause people jeopardy and lives. You look at the damage that happens when somebody has an encounter with the policeman, and they might not even think of police that way, but then they have a negative experience, and look what happens. Look what you've done. I have every right to call the police. Only if you're scared. Not if you're curious. Not if you're playing around. Not just, somebody got the Starbucks soda, I wanted them out of there. What if those dudes would have got killed? That's how serious it is. When black people and police in close proximity to each other, the propensity for something bad is through the roof. Something bad to happen is through the roof. And you're putting your toxic invective in that. If that happens, where you call the police on somebody just because you're curious, and if it's found out that you've done it before, you should be brought up on charges. You should be able to sue. I'm serious. It's enough of this. Your curiosity is killing a lot of us cats. It really is. It's enough. If you're frightened, you should call the police. If you're curious, deal with it. You know what? We get scared of y'all too. We don't call the police every time we see a strange white person. We don't. Aurora, Illinois, Aurora, Colorado, if you were looking at the white dude in the trench coat instead of the black dudes going to see Batman, you might have had a different result. It's ridiculous that you fear us, are so curious about us being where we're not supposed to be. You're risking people's lives. Literally. And maybe you don't care about that being on your conscience, but you damn sure should care about it being on your record. That's a little note from the GED section. We got the Jazz Report coming up in 15 minutes. It's the D.L. Hughley Show.